All right, diving in. Ready for another deep dive? Today we're taking a look at a list of the coolest whales.
Coolest whale.
Yeah, from the Top Tens website. You know those lists that are like all over the internet, always good for a fun debate.
I see, I see.
We're not just gonna like rank them though.
Yeah.
We're using this list as a jumping off point, right?
Yeah.
To uncover some really cool facts about these amazing animals. What do you think?
Sounds like fun. Whales are such incredible creatures. There's always something new to discover. And who knows, maybe we'll even debunk some myths along the way.
Oh, I love it when we do that.
Okay.
So first up, we got to start with the big one, right? The blue whale, officially the largest animal to ever exist.
It's really hard to wrap your head around, isn't it? I mean, they're even bigger than any dinosaur.
It's mind-blowing. How on earth is something that gigantic even find enough food?
Well, they have a pretty amazing strategy. They feed on these tiny little crustaceans called krill.
Krill, like those little shrimp things?
Exactly. And they gulp down massive amounts of water, like huge mouthfuls, and then they filter it out using baleen plates in their mouths.
So it's kind of like a giant strainer.
Yeah, like an underwater sieve. It's pretty remarkable.
Wow, so efficient.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, the sperm whale. Now, this one's description on the list got me curious. It talks about them memorizing underwater pockets that some people think lead to, like a hollow earth.
Ah, yes, the hollow earth theory. It's a popular one.
But is there any truth to it?
You know, it's an example of how these myths get started. Scientifically speaking, we know the Earth isn't hollow, but these pockets, they could be referring to something real, maybe like deep sea canyons,
Oh,
or, areas with lots of prey, like giant squid, which sperm whales hunt. Over time, these whales learn the layout, the topography, and it might seem like they know some sort of secret underwater paths.
so it's more about them being like really good at navigating their hunting grounds rather than finding some secret portal to another world.
Right, exactly.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Speaking of hunting, though, the sperm whale, it was hunted pretty extensively, right? I'm guessing that that head, that big square head, had something to do with it.
Oh, absolutely. That large head, it houses something called the spermaceti organ.
Spermaceti organ.
Yeah, it was very valuable to whalers because it contains a waxy substance called spermaceti. They used it for all sorts of things.
Like what?
Well, candles and lamp oil, even lubricants.
Wow, I never knew that.
Unfortunately, this demand led to a huge decline in sperm whale populations. It's a dark chapter in our history.
Yeah, for sure. It reminds us of the impact we've had on these animals.
Hmm.
Okay, moving on. The humpback whale. These guys are known for their incredible breaches.
Oh, yeah. Those are a sight to see, aren't they?
They see these massive bodies just flying out of the water.
It's such a display of power and agility. And, what's even more fascinating to me is their song.
Oh, right. The humpback whale song.
These complex vocalizations, they can go on for hours. It's really incredible. It plays a big role in communication, especially during mating season.
Talk about a romantic serenade. Okay, so the next one on the list is the fin whale. And there's this story about a hybrid fin whale named Julia, who's supposed to be incredibly dangerous, like can even destroy submarines, apparently.
Oh, wow. I haven't heard about Julia.
Do you think there's any truth to this?
Well, fin whales are the second largest whale species, that's true. But the claims about Julia, they sound a little exaggerated, Hybridization can happen in whales, but it's incredibly rare. And destroying submarines, that seems a little far-fetched.
Yeah, I kind of figured that was a bit of a tall tale. It's a good reminder to always be careful about what you read online, especially when it comes to these amazing creatures. Okay, we had a few more on the list here. The gray whale, known for their long migrations. The beluga whale, beautiful, white as snow. And the bowhead whale, which can live to be over 200 years old.
Isn't that amazing? Longer than most countries have existed.
It's incredible. But, okay, this next one really piqued my interest.
Yeah.
The narwhal. What's the deal with that spiral tusk? Looks like something out of a fantasy movie.
It's one of the most unique features in the animal kingdom, that's for sure. It's actually a tooth, a canine tooth that can grow up to 8 feet long. And you know what? They usually only appear in males.
Really?
Yeah, and scientists believe it has a few different purposes. It could be a sensory organ, like to help them detect changes in water temperature and salinity.
So it's like a built-in thermometer and salt meter.
Exactly. It could also be a way to communicate, and maybe even to attract mates.
Nature is so cool. Okay, and to round out the list, we have the minke whale, the right whale, and then it gets interesting. We've got some extinct species on here, starting with the Basilosaurus. That's not technically a whale, though, is it?
You're right, Basilosaurus is more like an ancient ancestor of modern
Oh,
whales.
I see.
They lived millions of years ago. And they're kind of a missing link in whale evolution. They still had hind limbs, like leftovers from when their ancestors lived on land. And their body was longer, more serpentine.
Because it's a window into the whale family history. That's amazing. And finally, we have the Livyatan. Now, that name sounds like it's straight out of a legend.
Well, it's no coincidence. Livyatan Melville was actually named after the biblical sea monster Leviathan.
Whoa. So was it like a monster, too?
It was a massive predator, that's for sure. Lived
Mhm.
around 12 million years ago. It had the largest teeth of any whale we know of, and it probably hunted other whales. A true apex predator.
A whale-eating whale. That is intense. So there you have it, our deep dive into the coolest whales, from gentle giants to prehistoric predators. I feel like I've learned so much.
It just goes to show you a simple list can spark so much curiosity, right? It can really lead to a deeper understanding of these incredible creatures.
Totally agree. So to all our listeners out there, I hope this has inspired you to learn even more about whales. There's so much out there to discover.
And every new discovery helps us appreciate the beauty, the complexity, the fragility of life in our oceans. It's a world we need to protect.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Until next time, happy diving.
Happy diving!